We're welcoming back NFL analyst Ross Benjamin, and we're going to break down the 4 playoff games this week as far as the quarterbacks, how these quarterbacks match up, and what will each quarterback bring to the table to hopefully bring the victory for these teams. Now, these are going to be some interesting games and some very, very solid quarterback matchups, except for that Pittsburgh game. Don't know yet who's going to be under center, but we're going to talk with Ross and break them down one at a time. So, Ross, welcome back with us, and if you will, let's start one game at a time and break down these quarterback matchups for the playoffs.
Well, let's start with the Kansas City-New England game first, Mike. You know, Alex Smith has quietly had a very nice year, a very good year, as a matter of fact, for the Kansas City Chiefs. This guy's completing 66% of his passes, close to 3,700 yards, 21 TDs against 8 interceptions. And one thing that gets lost in the whole equation with Alex Smith is his mobility. He can beat you with his legs as well, evidenced by his 498 yards rushing this year. Now, Tom Brady, we just don't have enough time to talk about all the accolades throughout his career, and his postseason accomplishments are pretty much second to none. But you know what? He suffered a high ankle sprain in the Miami game in the regular season finale. He's had 2 weeks to recover from that. I always get a little leery with those high ankle sprains because more times than not, they take a long time to recover from, but they're listing him as probable. And you know, Brady, it'll take him more than that to keep him out of a playoff game. Just don't know if that's going to affect his throwing motion. But in any case, I'm going to give an edge here to Tom Brady over Alex Smith. But you know what, folks? It's not as wide a disparity as it would have been in recent years. Alex Smith really brings a lot to the table in his Kansas City offense.
You know, Russ, also with Alex Smith, and it's been done quietly, but also the year that when he got traded, he was 11-0 before getting hurt when Kaepernick took over. And they chose to go the other way, and I know they went to a Super Bowl and so forth, but I still wonder what if Alex Smith would have been given that chance in San Francisco, but obviously that worked out better for him. I wouldn't want to be in San Francisco for anything. There's a team totally rebuilding, but he has quietly led this team, and he didn't get discouraged in the beginning when things were a little tough. And he also, like you said, is a dangerous weapon using his feet. Not a lot of people know that. That was a strength of his in college, and it's been a strength of his in the NFL. Now, Brady, he's got that pedigree. He's got the playoff pedigree, the championship pedigree, and he's got that fight. And yeah, the high ankle sprain doesn't concern me. I do think it's very good, though, that they had the 2 weeks to get it better because that line's -5, for the game. But yeah, the Patriots, I think between what they have done in the past and what they have done when things were a little tough and they were full of injuries, I think Brady would be the one to straighten that ship for them. But it's going to be anxious to see how it plays out because Alex Smith quietly is a dangerous weapon. Okay, Ross, now we've got the next game with the Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. How you feeling about that quarterback matchup?
Well, you know, you got to love Aaron Rodgers. The guy he's been really hurt by the wide receiver position for Green Bay this year. After losing Jordy Nelson, they really don't have a vertical threat that could really stretch the field, Mike. Yet he's continued to produce 3,800 yards passing, a little bit low on the percentage-wise, 60.5% of his pass completions, and yet 33 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this league that would love to have those kind of numbers. Yet you may get some people to say that Aaron Rodgers has actually had a down year, and let's not make light of the fact, like Alex Smith, maybe not as dynamic a runner, but Aaron Rodgers not only could beat you with his legs, he keeps plays alive with his legs and gives his receivers time to get open. Carson Palmer, excellent season, 4,600 yards passing, 64% completion rate, 35 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Unlike Aaron Rodgers, not a mobile quarterback. He's a prototypical drop back passer, but you know, we saw when he got hurt last year at the end of the season, Arizona's season went south in a hurry. They did qualify for the playoffs, but they were a non-factor. Boy, oh boy, he's had a great year. This is a really, really nice quarterback matchup. With all things being considered, Mike, I like this to be an even matchup at the quarterback position. It's going to have to be won somewhere else on the field for both teams.
I couldn't agree with you more because both of these quarterbacks, they do bring it. And Rodgers last week, in the very beginning, Ross, in the first quarter of that game, I thought he was a little jittery, was a little uneasy. I know there's been some rift between him and Mike McCarthy, and that is validated. But Rodgers is a professional enough to know, hey, I'm at the level, I'm at this opportunity, this stage, and I'm going to need to make the best of it. Palmer, yes, when he got hurt, everything went south, and it also had gone south when he was still playing in Cincinnati after his injury. So he has that much of an impact on a team, and there's no doubt about it. The Cardinals have put together a great year, and under Bruce Arians, he's a good coach, and Palmer and him have a very, very, very good reputation. So it's nice to see a coach really having that confidence in his quarterback, similar to what the Patriots and the Broncos do in their quarterbacks. But I think you're right. I think this is absolutely got to be equaled out. I couldn't pick one or the other. If I had to, I would say Palmer may have a stronger game because he's going to be on his home field. But Aaron Rodgers can never doubt him because he can sure step up and take the lead whenever he needs to. So that was good. Now, the next one, we've got Seattle at Carolina, and this is going to be a very interesting quarterback matchup. What are your thoughts on this one?
Boy, this is a great quarterback matchup, actually, with all things being considered. You got two quarterbacks here that could absolutely beat you with their legs and their arm, keep plays alive in the pocket, elude pass rushes. You're looking at Russell Wilson. I may give a slight edge to Russell Wilson in this matchup. Now, before you say I'm crazy, hear me out here. I mean, this is a quarterback that's led his team to the Super Bowl the last 2 years. I don't think that you could ignore that fact. That's not a fluke. I know he's had a good surrounding cast, but this year he's encompassed a lot of problems at the running back position, health-wise on the offensive side of the ball, losing tight end Jimmy Graham, and yet he still had a terrific season. And then Cam Newton, MVP type year. I'd be absolutely shocked if he's not the MVP of the NFL, and that's widely documented. It's probably about as lock as it comes. But, I just don't know if his lack of postseason experience is going to become a factor in this contest. We'll see. It's going to be an intriguing quarterback matchup. Cam Newton, not quite as accurate a passer as Russell Wilson. Wilson completes 67% of his throws. Cam Newton just 58%. But we know what both of these quarterbacks bring to the table when they take off with the ball. I mean, this is a quarterback, Cam Newton. He's run for 10 touchdowns this year. We all know what Russell Wilson can do with his legs. I'm going to just give a slight edge here for what I alluded to before, Mike, with Russell Wilson.
Well, you said hear me out here before you. No, I couldn't agree with you more. I think there's a big advantage, and I really do. And again, it's that playoff pedigree, that experience. And I think one thing happened last week that's just going to really, really strengthen Seattle and even take them at a higher level. I really believe that. I think the way that game ended, when they got lucky and that extra point was missed, I felt that they got some redemption from last year. And again, that frustration now turns into motivation. I think that even picks them up more. But you couldn't have said it better. Newton's had a great year and probably should be and probably will be the MVP. There's just that part, because I've been waiting all year for Cam Newton to beat Cam Newton and for it to hurt his team. And I have not saw that yet. And I don't know if that comes from Riverboat Ron, as John Gruden calls him, but their coach, Ron Rivera, he is absolutely just a great coach. He's a player's coach. So I think he is really starting to get into the mind of Newton. At the end of the day, though, even though Seattle's on the road with their playoff experience, with Russell Wilson, like you said, taking his team to 2 Super Bowls in a row, I think that gives the edge. So I could not agree more with that one. Now, the last game, Pittsburgh at the Broncos, there's some uncertainty for Pittsburgh. What's your breakdown on this game?
Well, I mean, there's uncertainty for Pittsburgh from a health standpoint with Ben Roethlisberger, and that's a very good point. Let's start with that. I mean, this is a guy right now who has torn ligaments in his throwing shoulder. He has a sprained AC joint, in his throwing shoulder. So how effective is he going to be? We both know, Mike, this guy's as tough as they come at the quarterback position. It's going to take him a lot more than that to keep him out of this contest. The problem I have with this all, I mean, obviously, though, I'm not a doctor, but I got to think that they're going to give him plenty of cortisone before this game.
Yeah.
But having said that, I just don't know how effective he'll be as the game wears on, especially if he takes a couple hits. And we both know this is a ferocious Denver defense with an excellent pass rush. He's going to take some hits. And as we saw when he returned to the game last week, he was throwing nothing but dump off passes, check down screens, and he made it clear in the press this week that he just didn't have. It was really bothering him to push off and try to get a throw down the field, and that's why they were going with all the short stuff. And then you got Peyton Manning, came back into the game this last week, attained a starting job once again. I don't know, Mike. The guy's a great quarterback. You look at his playoff pedigree. He did win one Super Bowl with Indianapolis, but there was a lot of disappointments throughout his career at postseason time, and he's not exactly had a great season. 9 starts, 10 appearances, missed 6 games, threw for 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. Boy, oh boy. I can't give you an answer as far as who gets the edge here. The only thing I could say is if Roethlisberger has to come out of the game and they have to go with Landry Jones, I have to give the edge to Denver, obviously. But right now, as we speak, the game is going to have to be won for either team in miscellaneous factors, either through the running game or on the defensive side of the ball or turnovers. Other than that, I can't give an edge to either quarterback in this situation.
Okay, and that's highly respected, and I understand that. And again, yeah, I noticed that last week when Ben came back in the game, Roethlisberger, it was little dinks and dunks down the field. And I mean, I'm dealing with a pinched nerve in my neck that's really concentrating on my right shoulder, and it has been for several weeks. And I'm in some of the most pain I've been in for a minute, so I can't even think about how he's going to step out and fire some shots downfield unless he gets that cortisone or something else, whatever they're giving him. Now, with Manning, because I'm a big Manning fan and followed his career, and obviously, yeah, he's had some disappointments. It's been a crazy year for him. There's no doubt in my mind this is his last year. I think he knows he's just got really nothing left in the tank to keep up with, the youth of these other teams. But I also think that sparks him for this week, okay? Because to look at those stats, you would say that can't be Peyton Manning. It can't be. But it is. This is what's happening. But I think he's going to just manage this team. They're not going to depend on him for the long ball, all right? A little bit of that pistol or the shotgun, whatever they're working out of, that's going to be a strength for them because Pittsburgh defense is not a good defense as far as secondary, all right? But that might bode well for them, knowing there might not be some long, downfield passes. But I think this team will be fired up enough, and I think Manning will just dig deep, pull something out of that his youth tank, and just get a good game. I really think he's going to manage this game. I don't see him making a bunch of mistakes in this game, but I see the defense being the determining factor in this game, and it's not Pittsburgh's defense. So, all right, well, there you go, everybody. We broke down the 4 quarterback matchups for the playoffs this weekend. Ross, thank you so much for your time, and let's see how this all plays out. We look forward to having you back again with us real soon.
I look forward to it as well, Mike.